Right. Good morning. Welcome to the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. Together, we are working to connect women in leadership and business to build relationships and empower each other, improving the health and wellness of our community, body, mind, and soul.
Our guest today is Deana Haslock. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay.
Hi.
With Craft and Craft. Welcome, Deana. It's so nice to have you. I've been so excited and looking forward to this broadcast with you. And I'm really excited to hear about what you have going on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and what you do?
Well, I am a crafting company at core. So we have craft classes that we teach. We have public craft and sips that we host a few times a month. I also do custom crafts and home decor. Mm-hmm. So pretty much if you can come up with an idea of something you're looking for, we can make it. I use all different kinds of mediums. We've got, raw wood where we're making charcuterie boards coming up. That one's a lot of fun.
But your class is sold out. I was so excited.
That's a sold out class. That's a sold out class. It's really exciting. I've a lot of prep work in that because that wood, it's like glass when we're done with it. Just you guys got the chance to touch it.
Feels
it really,
so amazing.
Like butter smooth.
Oh my gosh. I just wanted to keep touching the wood. I was like, this is so
to almost
beautiful.
An inappropriate level. You're like, okay, take it away from me.
Right. Good job. Yes. And so you and your husband, you have a fun name for those. What do you call it?
Well, we call them charcuterie boards, and they're on the natural wood round, and they've all got so many different logos. Well, I can't say logos. We've got the basic heart that you can get painted on there, and each person that comes to class puts their own design. And we've had about half of the class decide to do a custom design, all the way from that's what she said to but snacks first and putting their name on it. So people are really getting into that one. And then Christmas crafts are right around the corner. And
you posted a really fun video of a Christmas craft with one of the kids in your life.
And my grandson. Yes.
I loved how he got to be creative with the paint, but it still made something really that you really want in your home, not just like a 2-year-old painting.
Yes.
I thought that was a really cool thing.
It's fun to make these. I'm making these vinyl stencils so that they can go onto the board and it sticks. So even kids can just at it. It doesn't matter because at the end you pull it up and the only thing that's left is what you want. And so it's a pretty foolproof, fun way to do these designs. And it lets you do really intricate things with the paint that you wouldn't think you'd normally be able to do.
And especially with your kiddos, right? You're like, no, because we do, we all, our moms have those kindergarten, pictures saved with the scribbles and
the scribbles. Yeah, that was a fun one. He got to make a little Santa plate, but yeah, it's true. I have 6 kids and 2 grandkids, so busy, and lots of crazy art saved.
Right. Can't help it.
So tell us about a couple other classes that you have coming up.
Well, we've got a few classes coming up. We've got these actually behind me, these dream catchers. We're going to be building those at Bob's. They're beautiful. It's like a 3D dream catcher. You get to paint the art in the middle, which is also a very cool technique. It's pre-drawn out for you, the pieces, but then you get to pick from so many beads and feathers. And I've had a blast just putting all these different feathers together. And then we've got stocking holders coming up and Santa plates. They're, leaving cookies and milk on. And then the big exciting news that I haven't announced yet, drum roll, is we've picked up a new venue in Everett. So now it's 4 times a month that I get to host classes, and I'll be at Twin Foxes down on Hewitt and Everett on the second Thursday of every month.
Oh, so really
excited. Thanks, I'm really excited. We're going to do Christmas ornaments there. It's going to be hilarious because I've taken all the best, I think the best Christmas movies and the quotes from them. And we're doing National Lampoon, Elf, Home Alone. I can't even think of, we've got, of course, Die Hard's in there because that's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
So,
right? Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
a lot of fun. And, you know, and then private parties, we can do those in your home. If you've got any sort of event coming up, like a birthday, or, you know, you just want to get together with your girlfriends because it's Sunday and come up with the craft. So it's a lot of fun to do it. And getting to this point was great, because I've never had this opportunity. I was vice president of marketing for this nationwide company, and I was so busy working that I never got to play.
Right. So when did that change for you? When did you go from the vice president of marketing to, you know what, I'm starting this craft thing because that's what I love?
Well, that was COVID had a lot to do with that. It actually impacted my life in a crazy way. My job situation changed. My family needed me in different ways. My kids didn't have school anymore, you know? So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I have to be at home. So I'm at home. I think a lot of people felt this way in the, you know, how am I going to make money now? What am I going to do? My job has changed. I'm needed in different ways. And I didn't want to go back to corporate. You know, I wanted to love what I do, if that makes sense, because then you're not working. I mean, whatever it is you love, if you love banking, then go into banking. If you love real estate, do real estate. But whatever you love, if you are doing that, you're not really working. You get to do it every day. It's something you like to do. So I just decided that's what I wanted, because I had, I guess, never really taken the opportunity to breathe before. I was so busy aspiring to my dreams. I went to college, I got the degree, I got the job, I got the promotion, I got all the way up the ladder. There was nowhere left to go, you know, and I was like, oh, and I can't breathe, and I'm not home, and my phone's constantly on. And I was like, oh, this is too much. And so I finally breathed, and I went, I don't want to do this. This isn't what I want to do. How did I get here? So I just, encouragement from friends. They're like, you always do this stuff. Why don't you just try it? Just go. I had a great friend who does paint and sips that I talked with her, and she says, you know, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. And I said, hey, that's great. I would really appreciate that. And so I just jumped in. That's it. And I got my first venue was in May of this year. So May of 2021. Can you believe that? 2021. Shoot. But and now I've got 4. So busy, which is great, because in between I've got all these custom crafts, and so I just can't wait to see it grow.
Yeah. And that's just been what, 6 months?
Yeah.
That's
I built a website, got some business cards, and was like, hit the streets, it's time to hustle. Let's go.
Excellent.
Well, we are so proud of you and how far you've come in the last 6 months. We've really been able to connect at some of the networking meetings we attend, as well as, you know, we've even gotten together for a social media day and figuring out social media. So again, Heather's really good at that. So if you guys have questions, shoot them her way. So
I love it too.
And she's teaching me a few things. Deana came over and we showed her a few things, and we just really shared our knowledge, and that was really, really fabulous. So
I love that collaborative working when we're just like, okay, I'm stuck here. And we were able to, like, all 3 of us were helping each other in a different way, like just moving through the next right thing. Okay, I'm stuck here. Let's just keep moving. And it was really great.
And that's all part of that building the community piece that I feel is so important. And with that being said, we have other friends in our networking group who have reached out to you for specific items for specific people, and you like created that with them, and the process that people go through when they create something with you, because they don't necessarily have to do all the craft themselves.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
And the process for which creating the craft too, like I heard, was really amazing. So
thank you. That's great. Too, it was a lot of fun. It's great because it starts with a conversation of, you know, hey, this is what I have in mind. For instance, you know, someone wanted to do, one of the real estate agents wanted a gift for their clients, it's closing, get a gift. And he says, this is what I have in mind. I said, okay, let me get back to you later this afternoon. I'll throw together a design. So I threw together a couple of designs based off of our conversation that we'd kind of sketched something out. And, and it doesn't even have to be in person. It can be done completely digitally. So I then sent him back through Facebook Messenger a little snip of, hey, this is what I've got in mind. Which one do you like more? And he was able to say, oh, I actually, if you could put my name down here and make, this house bigger, and get rid of that heart. I don't like that. And this had the better font. And we kind of meshed the two together. So then I send him another proof and he's like, that's perfect. And then I have a little fun with Photoshop so that you can actually kind of see it on the item. This is the size you want, everything. And that was it. And then I delivered it and he was in love. It was great. And he's placed a couple of orders, and other crafts I've done. Like I had a lady that her grandfather's a beekeeper, and she wanted this cute little bee sign made for him, 2 little matching signs that they could do at home for him. So I put together the wooden pallet board for them, created this custom stencil. The process was done the same way, of designing the stencil. And then I put together brushes and paint and everything they need to take it home and do it themselves. And there's, online tutorials that you can watch that I put together on my website, and a step-by-step guide. So there's 2 ways you can do it, where you get the custom design that you want to do at home, have me do a private party with you at your home of this design, or, hey, I really think it's cool, but I don't want to make it. Can you just make it for me? yes, I can.
I did some of the ladies were like, when I go to the paint and sips or go to a craft, they're like, the hostess just knows that they're going to be finishing this for me. I'm here to socialize.
Okay. Well, that's why you go, right?
I thought that was fantastic. I was yeah, isn't that the point? Right? You're still getting out, you're still building community,
you're having fun,
having a good time. I love one of the, because I'm a huge crafter too. And where did I put the list? I wrote on the backs of all of my notes. So crafting boosts your confidence. Where did I put that?
Here it's really good for your mental health.
Stress relief.
I got an amazing review the other day. I haven't had a chance to post it, but it really touched my heart. She was like, I have been at home. I lost my job over COVID, and I've just been so stressed and at home. And I finally just saw your flyer and decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. And she came by herself to my class, and the review said, you were so welcoming, and the people in your class were so friendly, and it has just been so good for my emotional well-being coming to your classes. And she's been to classes. She's hosted a private party now, because she's like, it makes me feel good to know I've got this. I know it was a beautiful review. I was like, oh, thank you so much. It just made me feel so good. It just makes you know, okay, that's why I do it. It's just that touched one person, and that's really all I need. I'm happy.
What I want our listeners to hear is that if you are listening to this and you want to go to a craft class with Deana, you will be safe to go by yourself.
Absolutely.
You do not have to have a craft buddy to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too, because you're creating a safe space for people to come, even if they don't have someone to craft with. So if this is something you want to try out or you're scared to, this is really a safe community to do that with.
Yes. And we do have all ages classes too. So there's, half of my venues, you do have to be 21 to go to, but the other half you do not. So, you can
craft with your
teenage kid, bring your daughter. I've got people signed up for the Santa. We got a Dear Santa plate, right? And they're coming with their kids. The kids are going to make the plates. They're not doing it. They're just going to have a little appetizer and watch their kids craft, which is fun, in the end, because then they're proud of it.
And they're making memories and
and it's good for their self-esteem too.
Right.
Yep. And you've got all these ladies in class, and, we've got guys in class too, but they're moms and dads, and they're people who enjoy being around these kids, and they're just like, okay, look, you're doing a good job. And this kid's like, yeah, look at me,
right.
Their confidence really starts
to
kind of rub off on you too, because you're boosting their confidence and that energy starts to flow. And then you feel better too. And
kids are amazing because they come in and they're just like, we're sitting there like, oh my gosh, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then you look over and this kid's done. He's done the whole project. It's over. And then you're like, and it's beautiful. You're like, how'd you do that? Oh my gosh.
And we're still stuck in our head and just like, let it
That's
flow.
Get out of
did
your
this
head.
at Halloween time. We had nightmare glasses, and it was, you know, you could either do Nightmare Before Christmas, or there was ones that were like Freddy Krueger and Jason, you know, different nightmares. And there was a gal in our class, she's 13-year-old girl. She upstaged everybody in class. She just went outside the lines, added things onto it, you know, just put Jason at Crystal Lake over on. I was like, this is amazing.
What?
Good job. Yeah.
Wow.
And everybody else, we were so busy staying inside the line, giving Jason blue jeans, that we look over at her and they're like, oh, I just got upstaged by a 14-year-old. And we're like, yeah, it's okay. It's
awesome.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Everybody needs some kind of creative outlet, and whatever that looks like. But you've got a lot of really cool things going on. We'd really like people to go and check you out and visit your Facebook page, shoot you an email, check out your website. All that contact information will be in the links below, and we'll share that information on our Facebook page as well.
And I also have one more question. Do you have extra charcuterie boards, or are you out?
Well, charcuterie, I'm out for the class. I will be hosting that class again after the holidays are over, because it has been in high demand. So we're going to do the class a second time.
Okay,
excellent. In January. So yeah, just hang on, but it's there. It can be ordered if you want me to do it right now. And then we'll put the class up for January.
That's awesome.
Sold out. Sorry.
That's so awesome. I kind of wanted to know if people could order one to do for Christmas. Like,
yes, because the holidays.
Do you have enough supplies? I mean, like, so if somebody wanted to, they could, even though class is sold out.
Yes,
because those
they can do a take.
And it's nice. It's I don't have one here because they
there you go.
They are really big.
What,
they're about
12?
a foot.
They're 13 inches, and then they're about
inches?
2 inches thick, and they got little feet on the bottom of them. There's some great pictures of them on my website.
And
there's going to be one donated to the Marysville Chamber of Commerce. They've got their gala.
Ooh.
So I'm donating a charcuterie set for their auction. So anybody going to that will have an opportunity to see it there too.
So they're really nice. I'm going to describe it a little bit for our listeners. It's a really nice thick piece of wood with the natural bark around the edge, and it's just completely sanded to this beautiful smooth texture. And then you're using a decal to create the painting on it, and you can either do that yourself, or she will custom do it for you.
Yep. And then it comes with it's wood finished with a wood safe conditioning oil. And each one comes with a little bit of the conditioning oil, because you really want to make sure you condition that wood. It's like a butcher block at home. You know, if you don't condition it, it's going to crack. So you got to take care of your wood, if you know what I mean.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh,
We're lucky to have you.
It's my pleasure to please be here. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and please stay for the discussion piece as we move forward. We'd love to get that alternative perspective, because we all have different perspectives, and it's really good to talk about things in a safe and free kind of way. So anyway, with that being said, let's start with our meditation, right?
Yeah.
If you're driving, do not close your eyes, okay? Safety first. But if you're at home or you're in someplace safe where you can sit and breathe for just a couple of minutes. Take big deep breaths in through the nose. And exhale nice and slow. Big deep breath in. And exhale slow. Roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. Get settled, focusing on the breath and the sound of my voice. Today we are on day 9 from Meditations from the Mat by Rolf and Katrina Kensington. We are beaten and blown by the wind, blown by the wind. Oh, when I go there with you. It's all I can do. From U2. About 6 months after I began my spiritual practice in earnest, my older sister committed suicide. She was 31 years old, and I loved her more than anyone on earth. I had just come home from the service, and I was living with her and her new husband. She was young, healthy, and successful, and I worshiped her. After her death, her husband and I grew closer. We had been playing racquetball together, and we continued to do so, supporting each other as best we could. Then, within weeks of my sister's death, Peter showed me a lump on his chest one night before we began to play. As it turned out, he had cancer. When he gave me the news, we just looked at each other. There was nothing to say. 2 months before, we had been talented young men with the world at our feet. Now, it seemed, we were living our own worst nightmare. A few weeks later, as we were on our way to the gym, I came to understand the true meaning of the word abhyasa, or practice. Abhyasa refers not only to the yogic practice, but also to the attitude with which a practice is approached. Abhyasa is unconditional. It is the dedicated, unswavering application of what you believe in. I was driving along behind Peter in a car I had bought in Europe a few years before, a vestige of another life. A song by U2 came on my radio. Watching Peter drive up ahead of me, I heard the words, "We are beaten and blown by the wind, blown by the wind. Oh, when I go there with you. It's all I can do." Both of us, I realized, had surrendered completely to the God of our understanding. Despite the terrific beating we were experiencing at the hands of fate, each of us was still living out his faith. Even in the presence of extraordinary pain, we were taking right action. We were attending to our practice, each in his own way. As I listened to the lyrics of this song, the depth of my commitment to my own spiritual path became clear to me. My sister's death was certainly not in any bargain I had made concerning my spiritual life. Any hopes that spirituality would be a primrose path had been dashed. What I understood in that moment was that at some deep level, both my brother-in-law and I had made a decision. We had committed unconditionally to our practice. This commitment was not about results, and it would hold up under the gravest challenges. I don't know exactly when I made that decision or if the decision actually made me. I do believe abhyasa is not something we earn or achieve through force of will. Rather, it is an innate human capacity that we awaken through practice, through our own willingness. It is an energy that builds in our lives as we use it, and it will be there for us in hard times if we cultivate it in good times.
Wow.
Take a couple more nice, slow, deep breaths. Let's let that sink in for just a minute. And let's talk about that for a minute.
It will be there for us in hard times if we cultivate it during the good times.
It will be there for us in hard times when we cultivate it in good times. So creating practice, whatever that practice looks like. For the author of this book, it was playing racquetball with his brother-in-law. You know, even after losing his sister,
keeping up that routine, having something to hold on to that's steady.
Yeah. And we've all been through, you know, hard times in our lives. Nobody goes through life unscathed. Not one person.
True.
Life is an up and down and all around. Gonna take you around the back, back up the hill.
So by creating these practices, you're creating these habits that will keep you going, even when it's really, really freaking hard to keep going. And I think that's really super duper important.
that's how you build your resilience. And you look at somebody that's going through a hard time and they're having a hard time, but they're so strong. You're like, how are they doing that?
Well, your body naturally wants to build a habit. It's going to. And if you don't build a habit consciously, that's a good habit, you're going to fall into a bad habit.
Right.
But you're gonna soothe yourself some way. You're going to naturally, when you're in a stressful situation or a bad situation, you're going to try to soothe yourself. And it has to be a conscious choice and make it a habit. And then once it's a habit, now you will, without thinking about it, instead of going to the chocolate ice cream at midnight, you'll, have a different way of soothing yourself. Because that's just what you do. You choose to read a book, or everybody has a different way of soothing.
And
that's awesome.
Dealing with trauma, and
absolutely.
making the next right choice, and sometimes the next right choice is just step one, get out of bed. Right?
Yeah.
Don't talk yourself out of it.
Right. Just do it. I love the 5-second rule. Have you ladies heard that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah.
That's
just
it.
Go.
It's true, because if you don't, you'll come up with it. Right. If you don't go right at that one, you will just that quick be like, or I'll just lay here and watch another episode of Netflix. One more.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't like that they give us the option to play without being reminded. I'm like, I need to stop so that I stop watching and do something else. Right?
Yeah, I need to.
I don't know. I felt a little judged. I was like, "Are you still watching?" I'm like, "Yes." Oh,
don't tell anybody. Leave me alone.
Now, if Netflix sent me a reminder after the episode, now go change the laundry.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. And then you can watch another episode.
Now go wash the dishes.
That'd be good.
Like that would be really great.
Take a shower.
I know. Have you brushed your hair today?
Okay, we're writing an app for Netflix watchers now.
I know.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Okay, so I'm gonna move into our reading today from Path of the Yoga Sutras by Nicolai Bachman. Our Sanskrit word of today is Ishvara. Ishvara, the source of knowledge.
Ooh.
The quote today is by Kirpal Singh. Spirituality dawns when the intellect is silenced by loving devotion and reverential humility. Let me read that again. Spirituality dawns when the intellect is silenced by loving devotion and reverential humility. Science, philosophy, and religion often overlap, and yoga involves all three. It is a science because it represents knowledge of the physical world based on observation and experience. It is a philosophy. It investigates truth and principles of existence, knowledge, and conduct. Finally, since yoga describes matters of a very fine and subtle nature and is based on a theory of creation that involves an unchanging, permanent, divine awareness, or Purusha, it has a religious aspect as well. Ishvara is described in the sutras as a kind of Purusha, whereas Purusha is the individual soul embedded in our body and exposed to the activities occurring in our heart mind. Ishvara is its universal correlate, unbound and untouched by anything at all. While our individual Purusha watches and is entertained by the manifest dance of Prakriti, Ishvara simply exists. Ishvara is the pure light of knowledge, the macrocosmic energy of omniscience that we tap into through our inner light of knowledge and awareness, our Purusha. Although it is conscious of all actions, it cannot act but can influence action. Actions coming from the place of Ishvara create beneficial behavior patterns or samskaras. In any given situation, a broader, more informed heart mind allows us to see the whole picture, understand all points of view, and then act for the benefit of everyone. For example, A general contractor who has years of experience and a wide range of knowledge can anticipate and avoid potential pitfalls that a novice would otherwise fall into. Ishvara is also considered a teacher, and it can bring about transformation just as a human teacher can catalyze inspiration and insight in a student's heart-mind by the transmission of knowledge. The sutras state that Ishvara is the original and eternal teacher, not limited by time. All knowledge learned in the manifest world ultimately sprouts from the seed of Ishvara. This universal intelligence always was, is, and will be available to those who seek to understand the truth. Believing in something greater than ourselves cultivates humility. One way to prevent egotism, or asmita, is to think of Ishvara as all knowledge that ever existed or will ever exist. Then, whenever we come up with a new idea or create something unique, instead of believing it is ours to patent or exclusively use to promote our own self-interest, we can think of it as tapping into a bank of knowledge that was there all along. In ancient India, authors rarely ascribed their name to the books they wrote. They saw themselves as simply presenting what they learned from their teachers and life experience in a more understandable way. Participating in the ongoing transmission of knowledge that belongs to no one, surrendering and transferring the results of all action to Ishvara, or Ishvara Pranadhana, is a powerful practice that can keep us from thinking we are better than anyone else. Many cultures and religions talk about creation, beginning with sound or light. Patanjali says that this original sound is a direct expression of Ishvara, and therefore provides a direct link to it. In Indian ancient tradition of yoga, this sound is Om. Ishvara is in a sense the meaning of Om, and by saying or chanting Om, we are able to connect this divine source of knowledge. Om is the genesis of creation, and its sound is not random. Om is made of three sounds, A, U, and M. A, U, M. In Sanskrit, A plus U always combine to form O. A is made in the very beginning of the mouth, at the back of the throat, and U is made at the very end of the mouth, at the lips. So the sound itself causes vibration to span the entire mouth, which symbolizes all of creation. The final M creates a hum that drives the O into our body. A mantra is simply a sound that has a specific effect, which becomes stronger as it is recited over and over again. The more something is repeated, the more powerful its effect on our consciousness is. Repeating Om links our consciousness to Ishvara and allows us to feel its essence. Repeating Om also draws our attention inward and causes outer distractions to disappear. Sound has a way of reprogramming the consciousness and dissolving obstacles, like disease and doubt. Ishvara can be worshipped through a personal source of devotion, a symbol that links us to it. This source can be spiritual teacher, a sacred text, a deity, or even science itself. In India's Hindu religion, there are many interesting deities to choose from. One that is broadly accepted as a universally positive symbol is Ganesha, the elephant head deity representing abundance and the clearing away of obstacles. Belief in Ishvara implies that we have faith in a divine intelligence, a whole that is greater than our individual self. The endless macrocosm universally will always reflect the individuality of our limited microcosm. Connecting and synchronizing with the greater community, nation, world, and universe will keep us living in tune with the rhythms of nature.
Boom. Wow. That's really impressive because I had so many things came up for me. I was like, oh my gosh, we've been working on our vibe. We've been, I read Super Attractor. Like you're like working on your energy and your vibe. And I'm like, wow, this is like the beginning of where all of those conversations start.
Yep.
This is like
it's super cool.
With
right? When you say that sound, let's say it together real quick. You could feel that vibration within your body, right? And so the theory behind, there's a whole bunch of theories behind how sound affects the body. We all have playlists that we love that really amp us up or mellow us out, kind of depending on where our headspace needs to be. But the vibration, the sound is so important for the bodies, music and, it's all intertwined. Everything we see, touch, hear, feel has a vibration, and it holds energy. And so being able to hold on to the energy in a positive way is super duper important.
It's like, that's funny. You're like, did you have an avalanche? And I'm like, oh yeah, everything in my house is vibrating. I need to reset it.
I went to pick her up and there was like Tupperware lids, all over.
There was an
She's
avalanche.
like, yeah, I opened the cabinet and
everything's vibing funky. I literally was like, I just need to reset my vibe today. I'm like,
okay. A few thoughts today is I deeply respect the divine energy untouched by the ever-changing world around me, right? Because that divine energy is untouched energy, right? You can't physically touch this energy. You can feel the energy, but you can't physically touch it because it is in all things everywhere all the time. Like you feel it, but you can't like physically reach out,
touch it. It's like you shouldn't be able to feel your food digesting, right? But we know that our digestive system twists and churns and does a vibration, so you don't feel that on the outside unless you have something wrong with you. Generally,
unless you have food moving through there that maybe your belly's not happy with, right?
When I had the abdominal hernia, I would have this like weird vibration on my abdomen, and I'd be like, what is happening? And then I find, through much learning, I had it for many moons. So I learned that it was the churning, and it was such an interesting vibration that you don't ever feel on the outside usually. So everything has a vibration, and that's what holds it together. It's interesting.
Deana? Yeah. Okay, so real quick, let's think of a symbol that represents Ishvara to you, such as a prophet, deity, or even religion. Sit quietly and think about this symbol for you. Does it look like anything in particular?
Is it just light?
We all have a pure inner light of awareness. You can imagine that and what that looks like for you. And everybody has a different take on their own personal beliefs. And what's interesting about yoga is it doesn't denounce any of them.
You get to connect to your source.
Your source, whatever your source is, you get to connect to that.
There's no judgment in yoga about where that source comes from. So let's take a big deep breath.
And while we breathe here for a second, think of the teachers who have influenced you most of your life. Take a couple of breaths, and as you exhale, pay homage to them, thanking them for passing on such valuable knowledge. They are each a form of Ishvara for you. All those people who have influenced you in your life are each a form of Ishvara.
That's really beautiful
for you. Okay. So I feel like raising our vibe is really important, but also there's no wrong way to do it.
Right.
Right. You know, you focus each day on one thing that you can do better than yesterday. Right. You take the next right step. You focus on whatever it is you're focusing on to make the next right step, to keep pushing yourself forward. And as women in business, I think that's really, really important because, you know, like Deana, you took the next right step for you. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. What am I going to do? Well, you know what? I really love crafts. I have a passion for crafts and doing crafts with other people. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. And you took the next right step and the next right step. And, you know, you started.
And sometimes the right step is the scariest one. It doesn't have to, I mean, the scariest road is sometimes and usually the right one. You know, it's anything that's easy is, I've always said, if you got it easy, it wasn't worth having. You know, you don't value it. You don't, it's the things you work for, the things that you really had to go get, that you cherish and hold really dear, you know.
Exactly. And I just want everyone who is listening to this podcast today to know that you hold value. You have that inner light of awareness within you. You have your inner resource with you all the time. And so tap into that inner resource and take the next right step. It's okay if it's scary, you know, take that next right step.
Go to the craft class by yourself.
Go to the craft class.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know,
it's fun.
Start building your confidence. I'm like, that's really amazing.
Right.
And you're surrounded by like people, you know, people that like the same thing. You know, I've got an artist that comes to my class. She's full artist selling her work, you know, for lots of money. And she comes in and I'm like, oh gosh, oh my gosh.
You're like,
you know, this is crafting, right?
This is a craft.
And she goes, no, I love it. I just like being around people who like doing what I'm doing. So it's like, you know, if you're a big reader, you like going to the library because now you're surrounded by people doing what you do. Like when we got together and we were having our social media day, being surrounded by the people who are doing what you do, it's just encouraging.
Right.
You know?
Right. And we got a lot of work done in a couple hours, right?
Oh my gosh, we sure did. We sure did.
Right?
And we really honed in on, you know, specific things too, like that each of us were stuck in, like when you work together collaboratively and uplifting.
Yeah. And worked it all out.
It was great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to continue building my yoga education, you know, but I am sad to announce that I'm going to stop teaching yoga in person here at the end of the year, but I'm going to continue doing yoga for the joy of it. Okay. So I'm not quitting yoga. I will still love to do group classes on occasion, but I'm just changing my focus a little bit on how I'm doing that. So
taking that next step.
And
exactly.
The universe is currently telling me that I'm on the right path with what I'm doing here with the podcast and with what I'm doing in other areas of my life. And that right now, especially the in-person classes and the private consults and stuff with yoga is not necessarily where the universe thinks I need to be right now. And so
that's exciting.
Although I'm really sad to kind of put the yoga teaching part kind of on the back burner a little bit, I'm really excited about the doors that are opening up elsewhere. Like there's doors opening up all over the place and I'm super, super excited about that. But I wanted to get that out there that Warrior Yoga is closing at the end of the year, but I will still be here in a more educational aspect of yoga. If you guys have questions or anything like that, or, you know, and you want to reach out, just reach out to me. All my contact information will be in the description and in the links below. But I'm going to pass the torch on to Heather to tell us about what she's up to.
Oh my goodness, the world is just a shifting and a changing all the time, right, ladies? We're taking those next right steps. And I know personally, this last few weeks have been a little scary as we take these next right steps, and we're stepping in. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I'm so excited. I know that I've sent Deana some questions, and she's like, why are we talking about lashes, girl? What is happening? What is going on? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how we got from nutrition to lashes. I was like so confused there for a hot minute. I was like, what is going on? And so I really leaned into trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more you know the right next thing to do. Like, you build your own confidence. So I definitely have been leaning into building my confidence and what that looks like personally for me, not in someone else's light, but for myself. So I am definitely health focused, and I joined a new company that's health focused and beauty obsessed. So the whole product line is about your healing on the inside and then being able to see that on the outside, and how to boost your confidence. So they actually found that 41% of people that like to do things with beauty are doing DIY stuff at home, do it yourself beauty things, which is great, because as crafters, you know, we want to do things ourselves, right? We're trying all the weird nail stuff, you know,
everything.
Like, we're doing it all, right?
I can do that.
Yeah, right.
And then from the other aspect, you know, those of us who don't necessarily like to do those things ourselves still like to save money,
right? And
time. Getting those services out in town is really expensive, and it takes up a lot of time.
And if it's not something that's already in your budget, it's hard to squeeze that in when you're trying to boost your confidence and grow business, right? So we found that the lash business actually is a $1.2 billion industry. Billion. And that is expected.
That's a lot of zeros.
to double in the next 5 years.
Wow.
And that was before this company launched this brand new product. I came in right at the right time, like it's launching right now. You can't just general buy it yet, but they are do-it-yourself lash extensions, and they come in like really volume, high lifting. You know, I'm going to fly away my eyeballs all the way down to the little natural ones, so that when you wake up in the morning and your kids are crying and you need to do 552 things, you look in the mirror and you already look put together because you have your lashes on, because you can get them on in less than 15 minutes. And it's just been really, really fun watching some of these lash demonstrations, because I'm like, yeah, right. So they got the baseball player dude on. Oh my gosh, I lost my mind. One of the guys. Eyelashes on. He's like, I'm gonna put it on my droopy eye, you know, the best home run of my life, where I got hit in the eye. So he's got like a little bit of a droopy eye, but it's not like really bad. And he totally did it like live. And we watched him. He made it look super duper easy. So then I'm like, every person that gets their lashes in the mail. And of course, I didn't buy the lash kit. I was like, who needs lashes? And now I'm like, I want lashes. They're so cool. I'm like, this is awesome. So the kit is really cool. You get clear or black glue to put on, and then you put the lashes on the underside of your eye. You just kind of like put them there and pull up, and they're on, and they're like weightless. I keep asking, I'm like, okay, you have them on again, I see. How are those feeling, huh?
Yeah.
You know, because for me, every time I've used fake eyelashes, I'm like, how long can I get these till I can get these off?
They're heavy. Yeah.
They're heavy. They're uncomfortable. I can see them. And they're like, these are like weightless. Like, they really did a good job of getting the right person, the right product person, you know, with the right knowledge, like someone's passion to make eyelashes. And we found it at the right time. It's launching.
So did you order the kit?
Not yet. I need to.
I'm excited.
We'll
My
have to do
nutrition
a
kit
live
came.
of you putting it on for the first time. We'll have to
Right?
watch you do it live. Yeah.
Exactly. I went
You're like, I
live
don't
and
have a
tried
droopy eye, but I'll do it.
my new nutrition drink on Instagram yesterday. Like, I'm so excited to next level it.
I was thinking about getting a kit for myself because the holidays are coming up. My wedding anniversary is like 3 days before Christmas, dress it up for the holidays, right? And my question, which we're trying to get a little more details on, is I wear glasses. I can wear contacts, but I don't like to because I can't see as well. It's hard for me to read with my contacts and things like that. Even though it's the same prescription, I don't know what the problem is. I'm so used to my glasses. I think it's part of the thing, right? Those lashes hit my lenses.
So there's different lengths of them. So literally we could probably get the measuring tape out and measure your eyes to see what length you would need.
Yeah, between my eyes and my glasses.
Yeah, between your eyes and your glasses, because it comes in different lengths, and you can get the natural ones or the more volume ones.
Right. I'd probably go with the more natural ones myself because
do you put them on every day?
You put them on and they stay on for 3 to 5 days.
Oh, that's
you
nice.
You can take them off. There's all the videos and everything on how to care for them too. And then they're finding that you can use them a couple of times if you're taking really good care of them too. So the money saving aspect of that is phenomenal.
Right. So you're saying we could put our lashes on Saturday night and they'll last on Sunday night and they would last the entire week.
Right.
That's pretty cool, right?
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Or at least
I think I would probably go for like
a long trip to Vegas, and you just put it on Thursday. You're good all weekend. Come home from Vegas and be like, back to normal me.
I look normal. I'm fabulous.
Goodbye, glam.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to actually go to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. I've been
oh my gosh,
never been to Vegas.
I've only been once.
Have to have a girls'
and I
trip
would love
that. I have a trip coming up. My best friend, she's turning 50, so we're going to Hell's Kitchen. I'm very excited to do that. Yes. All I know is I'm getting some sort of risotto for sure.
Right.
Wellington, and I got to hear Gordon yell, right? I doubt he'll be there, but it'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, my parents who go to Vegas all the time, they went there. They said it was phenomenal. So I hope you have a really great time. So
good. I'm so excited.
So confidence is when you believe in yourself and your abilities. The most beautiful thing you can wear is confidence. So let's do this, ladies. You can contact me, give me a call or a text at 360-722-9104, or I'm everywhere online. Come find me. I'm here. Let's make an appointment and talk. All right. Well, the October time. The October Company, if you are unaware, is a family-owned and operated insurance brokerage. We have decided everyone needs access to opportunities to provide assurance for themselves, their families, and their communities. We work with business owners to provide benefit packages that fit any level of need, from families, single parents, business owners, and their employees. We are helping the community be covered. Right now is open enrollment. So we have a little message from Melinda at the October Company. We are your dedicated client support team. That's us.
That's us. Give us a call.
And we can assist with your application, eligibility, and enrollment issues. So right now it's the open enrollment at the exchange, and Melinda is she's got us as her support team to help you in our community. We are super skilled at shooting. Oh my goodness. And resolving complicated scenarios and providing additional support throughout the enrollment process. So, if you are not someone that just has a cut and dried, it's me. I make $5 an hour. And I need insurance. Okay, well, if you only made $5 an hour, that's a whole nother conversation. Okay, that was a bad example.
You can do better.
But if it's not super simple, that it gets really confusing. And, and if your expertise is making crafts, you don't want to have to worry about a
go through the
computer
insurance
program
Yeah.
and go through like get the experts help. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
make an appointment today. Give Melinda an email at melinda@theoctoberco.com or give her a call or text at 425-361-6078, and all the contact information will be in the links below.
Or you can contact us for an appointment as well. We're happy to book those. It's, that's our day job. It's what we do. So we would love to be able to support you in a way that maybe you need clarification. You have questions that need answered.
You don't even know what the questions are.
Right. Maybe you don't even know what the questions are, but you're like, I need something just in case something happens, because we all understand that life happens, things happen, things don't ever go as planned, right? You make plans and then the universe says, ha ha ha, funny.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to make sure that you guys are covered for the inevitable, whatever that looks like for you.
So our cause of the quarter has been food banks.
Food banks.
So we're taking donations for Marysville, Arlington, or Stanwood. And then we're encouraging anybody to reach out to their local food bank and see how they could contribute. Sometimes food banks need a monetary donation is best, because they can get better deals on food if they buy it themselves with their deals with the grocery stores. So
yeah. And the holidays are coming up, and families need a little extra support these days. I know so many families needing a little extra support. The cost of groceries has gone up at least 25% in the last 6 months. What used to cost my family $150 a week in groceries is now like $250 a week. So it's that impacts other things that we're able to do for our families. The cost of gas is also going up. So
if you need food and you need to pay other bills, utilizing your food bank is one way that you can help free up some money to pay some of those other bills. So if you need gas money and you need to take it out of your food budget, don't be so frightened, and please use the food banks. They're amazing, and everybody wants to give. And
it's not a scary place. They don't ask you 5 million questions about your income or anything like that. No. They're just happy to provide food and services and that support to families who need it. And right now we're all struggling, and that's okay. And being able to
as a community, there's a lot of changes and shifts going on with all the new mandates and the over 100 and all the crazy rules coming down. People are taking leaps into this, building your own business realm, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes you still need to feed your kids. So,
right.
So don't be afraid to use it, and then give back, when you can.
Right. I'm missing.
We're down to here then.
Right. Well, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsors. We're Yoga. That's me. Heather Ross Wellness Ambassador, the October Company, who brought us together, and our special guest, Deana Haslock with Craft and Craft. And we would also like to thank HEMA Forge Virtual Gaming, who currently has alpha testing for online, like Zoom style virtual
gaming experience that they are working.
Virtual gaming. So like
you can finally get that date on the moon.
So alpha testing is starting. So if you have your D&D character profile and you'd like to join that alpha testing for free to help fine tune that a little bit, they would appreciate your guys' help and support. Email hemaforgevirtualgaming@gmail.com. That's HEMAHFORGE virtualgaming@gmail.com. And thank you so much, HEMA Forge, for supporting us and our podcast and getting us some nice audio equipment so we can sound better.
Be sure to follow us on social media at Women in Leadership BSMB and listen to us on Stitcher, Spotify, Audible, Google Podcasts, and so many more. If we are not listed on your favorite place for a podcast, please let us know. We are still waiting for the email from Pandora, but it is so close. We are officially on Apple. Let us know if there's some place you're listening and we're not, because if that's your favorite platform, we want to get on there for you.
Yeah. And every week we're trying to do one or two things that up level us a little bit more. So we learn something new, we teach ourselves something new, and we add something new all the time. That being said, we have Patreon. Okay, so you guys can support us on Patreon if you want to become a repeat kind of like monthly subscriber. I set up different tiers. You can earn like gifts and prizes. I think it starts with the stickers and a coffee mugs and a t-shirts and a hoodie. As time goes on, you can build those gifts up. So that's a really exciting way to be able to support us and what we do with our podcast.
Another way you can support us is by sponsoring an episode. We are starting to take sponsorships, and what that would entail is us talking about your business. So if you're not somebody that is comfortable getting on here and talking with us, we totally understand that, but we still want to support other local businesses, and we're happy to do that for you.
Yeah. So if you're interested in sponsoring a podcast and getting a shout out for you and your business, let us know. It's super affordable, and it's a great way to get your voice and your business out there. And
every week we're growing our followers and our groups and our listeners, and we're very excited. The community has embraced this podcast so wonderfully, and we're so grateful for this opportunity to share with everybody and connect on this level.
And we're super, super thankful for all of our guests and our listeners, because we couldn't do this without your guys' support. Honestly, we couldn't. And it's really, really great that in such a short time, we've been able to grow so much. And I'm really looking forward to our growth coming into the new year. I'm super excited. Yes. So there's going to be a lot more fun, exciting things coming up. And if you are interested in being part of our podcast or being a sponsor, please shoot us an email at womeninleadershipbsmb@gmail.com. We'll have the information for you. Link with us on our Facebook page, social media, all those places.
And stay tuned, because in the future, we will have Deana back on to show us some new craft, or help us listen to some new crafts and see where she's going with her business. I'm so excited to see how many new venues you get and how you're handling the growth, and we can be here to help you. So thank you for joining us today on the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. We will see you next time. Namaste.